This is episode 002. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. This is episode 2 of Real Estate Talk with Jason Gelios. Thank you to everyone that watched and commented on episode 1. That means a lot to me, and that you guys actually like the show, so that's a good thing. I had posted a Facebook question about what is the number one ROI on a home, and Michaela Cook, thank you for getting that right. You were the first one that did. So I'm giving you a shout out here. So the number one return on investment for a home improvement project, if you're selling a home, is the kitchen. Probably not really a shocker there. The kitchen is the most appealing room that buyers look for. A close second was actually bathrooms, and so kitchen and bathrooms were the top return on investment home improvement projects. What else is up there? Probably number 3, I would say, is general maintenance of the house. So if you're selling a house and you have a newer roof or a newer furnace, a newer water heater, that has a huge appeal and comfort factor to the buyer coming in. So that's a great thing, So thank you again for all the comments and feedback. I'm going to segue into a question that I was actually asked by Pat Gordon. Thank you for submitting that. What's the return on investment on pools? Pools are very interesting. A pool is excellent to have, in the backyard of a home or whatnot. In-ground pools can be pricey. In-ground pools are going to give you the higher ROI, but it's not a very high ROI off the bat. So if you have a pool and you're looking to sell your home, if it's in-ground pool, something for the most part permanent like that, you're looking at about a 50% ROI on that when you go to sell. Here's the kicker. You're probably only going to appeal to the national average, which is 50% of the buyers looking at your home. So 50% of the people coming into your house to potentially buy it are not going to like your pool. My personal professional opinion on a above ground pool is, if you're selling a home, I would take it down. Yeah, sure, you could have your house listed and get the feedback, or offer that, hey, before closing, we'll have the pool removed. But you really want to look at that. If you have an above ground pool, most of the time, those pools last 20, 25 years if it's a decent one. So if it's at the end of its life and you're selling your home, I would quite honestly get rid of it, put down grass, and make it look nice. So that's my opinion. But the national average is 50% of buyers looking at your house will not like your pool. And the ones that do, you'll get probably 50% ROI back if you're lucky on the pool, if they purchase your house. So that's the topic of pools. Thank you again for submitting that question, Pat. It's a tricky subject. Pools are great. Some people love them, some people hate them. It just, but if you want to get the most interest out there, above ground pools got to go. So, and that's very hard for me to say because I have an above ground pool. I love it. But down the road, when I go to sell my house, I don't know, 10, 20 years from now, the pool's going to be old and I'll probably get rid of it. So that's my thought on pools, backed up with some national average stats. I want to talk about the process of buying a home. A lot of people ask me this as well. And I want to go over the basics of, what's the process of buying a home. So there are steps. Okay, you get pre-approved as a buyer. You get pre-approved. You go out with your agent. You look at houses. Okay, you want to know the areas that you like. You want to know where you want to be, what school district, roughly. Okay, and then you go out with your agent. Agent sets up the showings. You go out and you look. If you find a house, you put in an offer. Your agent can help you out with this, or you can basically give me a call. But what you do is you put in the offer gets accepted or not accepted, negotiations take place. If your offer is accepted, then I highly recommend scheduling an inspection. Schedule the inspection, have a professional, a third party, handyman, licensed inspector, have him go out and make sure that everything's good. He'll go in the attic, he'll go in the basement, he'll go in the crawl space if there's one. Doesn't matter. He'll go in and out of that house to make sure that everything is good. And if it's great, excellent. You move forward and you submit all this information to your lender with the help of your agent. Your lender will re-verify everything in terms of income and bank statements, and if you're bringing cash at close, whatever the case is, he'll verify everything and then he'll submit it to the underwriter, and the appraisal is ordered. Now, inspection you pay for upfront. Appraisal, 95% of the time you're going to actually pay for that up front. Some lenders won't charge you up front, but it's very rare, quite honestly, because an appraisal can actually kill a deal. So if you're trying to buy a house at 150 and you have to finance, 97% of that, and the house appraises for 10 grand less, it's not going to happen if the seller does not reduce their price. Sometimes the seller will, sometimes they won't. It depends. I had one where the house appraised for 15 grand less, and the seller said, nope, we're going to put it back on the market and take our chances. So, you could do that too. But for the most part, you get past inspection, you get past appraisal, you go back to the lender. Okay, the lender, orders a clear to close. And when you get a clear to close, you, the seller, the agents involved, you schedule a closing date, typically a week later or less. You have to have 3 days to review to actually review your documents, but then you close on the house. If there's occupancy, let's say the seller needs 10 days after closing to get out, great. You meet them in 10 days, there's a form, they sign off, they give you the house key, it's yours. But those are the steps. So pre-approval, not pre-qualification. Pre-qualification is, hi, ABC lender, I make this amount a year, and what can I get approved for? Pre-qualifications are just horrible. Okay, pre-approval, get pre-approved, have the lender verify your information, your income, your pay stubs, W-2s, statements, all that stuff. Gives you a number. Shop in your range with your agent, look at houses, put in an offer on one that you like or love, and then get inspection. After inspection, you're fine, great, send over the form, boom, appraisal, okay, and then clear to close. So it's really that simple. The hardest part about this whole buying a house process is finding the house that you like and making sure that it doesn't have multiple issues. If it doesn't have crazy mold or crack in the foundation that is causing it to require a structural engineer and $40,000 in work. Okay, so I do want to point out, if you have the inspection and let's say something small you want repaired by the seller, let's say it's a leaky faucet, you can say, hey, I'm satisfied with the inspection, however, I want the seller to fix this before closing. You can do that. So if you want to dive in deeper into that, give me a call. My info will be at the bottom of the screen and towards the end of the video. So another question that I was actually asked quite often, but I remember Alex Gordon and Angelina, Lala's sharing this with me, asking me to answer this. I want to go over it again. So thank you guys for actually submitting that question. I appreciate it. You're giving me fuel for this fire. So, okay, should I buy a condo or should I buy a house? It's not really that hard of a decision, and I'll tell you why. Because, okay, option A, you buy a condo, okay? With a condo, you have less maintenance, okay? There's an association. Yes, you pay a fee per month. However, they take care of the outside. They cover insurance on the outside. If a tornado comes through, trashes the condo, they're going to cover that. So they manage the roof, they manage the snow plow, the community pool, if there's one. Some don't even have that, but they take care of the grounds. With that said, there are bylaws, and bylaws are rules of the complex. You can't plant arborvitaes out front. It has to be approved, okay? You can't, add a tree without getting it approved. If your condo is a ranch style, if it has a deck, it has to be a certain color. So there are rules when you live in a condo. However, it's typically not that bad. Some people don't like to live with rules, but guess what? Even home subdivisions have small associations that help with blight. So you buy a condo. If you're a busy person working all these hours and you're young and you're doing all these things, okay, or if you're downsizing from a 2,800 square foot house and you want something that is easier to maintain, then a condo is the way to go. If you go with a house, option B, you go with a house. Okay, you are in charge of the maintenance, inside and out. You're in charge of your lawn. You're in charge of the roof. If it goes bad, there's a lot more maintenance costs. And two, you have to store and get these tools, like a lawnmower. You got to own a lawnmower when you have a house. Okay, you can pay someone to cut your lawn and do snow, but that's expensive, extremely expensive. So there's pros and cons. Personally, look at your own situation. Do you have time to mow the lawn? Do you have the money to pay someone to mow your lawn? Or should you just pay a flat rate each month, get a condo, and it's easier for you? So there's a lot of benefits to buying a condo. There's a lot of benefits to buying a house. So now, one thing I will say, when you go to sell, you will have, typically, according to the national average, right, you are going to have less buyers shopping for a condo. Condos apply to less of a group. So people downsizing, or maybe someone getting a divorce and they can't afford a house, so they can afford a condo. But the group of buyers for a condo is going to be smaller compared to your house. So I hope that helps. Thank you again for submitting that question. And this is episode 2. Again, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Leave comments below. Okay, if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook or my own site or wherever else I share it on Twitter or whatnot, leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Feel free to share this episode with your friends, your family. Don't be shy about that. My goal is to help as many people as I can by providing great content, great information that you can hopefully learn from. If you have a question, submit your question. Go to it'sallabouttherealestate.com. Go to the page that is called Real Estate Talk with Jason Gelios and submit your question. It's extremely easy. You can do it from your mobile phone. I appreciate you guys watching, and make it a great day.